Hey guys, it's Kiran here, back to another video, and today we are taking a look at this. This is the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra, a phone that set the benchmark for flagship devices in 2024 and still holds its own in 2025. It was even voted the best phone of the year thanks to its top-tier hardware, AI-powered features and a premium design. So is it still worth it in 2025, or is it completely overshadowed by the new S25 Ultra? Let's find out. And let's talk about the design first. Samsung finally ditched the aluminium for a titanium frame in the S24 Ultra, making it feel lighter yet more durable. This makes the S24 Ultra feel pretty solid. However, 232 grams, it does still feel quite on the heavy side. But compared to its competition, it's not far off. The iPhone 16 Pro Max weighs in at 227 grams and the Pixel 9 Pro XL comes in at 221 grams. But for me, coming from the Pixel 8, which was barely 190 grams, this is a noticeable jump for me. For the color of this phone, Samsung offers 4 traditional colors and 3 exclusive colors if bought through the Samsung shop or the Samsung app. For the standard colors, you have the titanium black, titanium grey, titanium violet and titanium yellow. And for the Samsung exclusive colors, you have the titanium blue, titanium green and titanium orange. All of which are pretty good, but I opted for the titanium violet. And moving on to the design, there are some interesting details worth pointing out here. On top of the phone, you will find an air vent hole as stated in the manual, along with a microphone used for noise cancellation. On the back within the camera module, there's a small notch on the ring of the ultra-wide camera. This houses a microphone that enhances audio while zooming in. At the bottom you'll find the SIM card tray, the main microphone, a USB-C charging port, the main speaker and of course the S Pen. And unlike the S Pen on this 25 Ultra, this one still has Bluetooth which allows it for gestures, something I will dive into later in the video. The corners of this S24 Ultra are noticeably sharp and I've seen a lot of people complain about them that they dig into their hands. But honestly, while using the device myself, I barely noticed it. Maybe I just hold it differently, but it never really became an issue for me. But what I did notice though was this stunning 6.8-inch dynamic AMOLED 2x display. I was already impressed with the Pixel 8's 2000 nits of brightness, but this takes it a step further. This comes in at 2600 nits of brightness and delivers deep blacks and vibrant colors. It is very visible even in direct sunlight, even when I have my shades on. And the anti-glare coating is the icing on the cake. It works wonders, keeping the screen easy to read no matter how bright the lighting conditions. Here you can see a quick comparison. The S24 Ultra also boasts a 120Hz LTPO display, meaning in theory at least, it can go as low as 1 Hz to save some power when there is no movement in the screen and in always on display. But I think Samsung has limited the minimum refresh rate to 24 Hz. There have been some debate online about this, and some Reddit users claim that the software only measures the GPU's refresh rate and not the actual display's refresh rate. So the software reports 24 Hz even if the display itself may be running at 1 Hz. That said, I'm not 100% sure about this, and it just might be that Samsung has just limited the minimum refresh rate to 24 Hz. The display is also protected by Corning Gorilla Glass armor, which is less prone to scratches. And this is particularly useful for me since I don't really use the screen protector to enjoy the full effects of the anti-glare coating. Because most aftermarket screen protectors are quite reflective, which makes the anti-glare coating on the phone basically useless. And I have been using this phone without a screen protector for almost 6 months now, and so far there have been no scratches on this. But if you feel like you do need the extra protection, Samsung does also sell an official anti-glare screen protector, so you can keep the benefits of the anti-glare coating while still protecting your display. I will link it down in the description below. The only downside of the anti-glare coating is that it is more prone to smudges over regular use, but this isn't a serious problem cause a quick wipe and it's back to looking pristine. It is also worth noting that some users online claim that the oleophobic coating on the phone is wearing off over time. This coating is designed to repel oil and smudges, but when it deteriorates, it makes the screen look oily and in some cases even scratched. But personally, I haven't had any issues with this since my display is still looking pristine after 6 months of regular use. Under the hood, the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra runs on the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 for Galaxy. And that for Galaxy branding is actually quite important, because it is not just the regular Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 but a slightly overclocked version specifically tuned for Samsung flagship devices. The CPU gets a slight boost from 3.3 GHz all the way up to 3.39 GHz, and while the GPU is also overclocked, Samsung hasn't provided the exact numbers to know exactly how much of a boost we are getting. But do keep in mind that the regular Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 is already a top tier flagship chip, so this just pushes the performance even further. This paired with 12 gigs of LPDDR5X RAM and UFS 4.0 storage, it makes it almost unstoppable. Now while this S25 Ultra might seem like an incremental upgrade in most areas, performance is one area where it truly does stand out. This S24 Ultra is still a beast, but this S25 Ultra, now that just takes it a step further. With around 30% faster CPU performance, 37% boost in GPU power and a whopping 40% boost in NPU performance, it can handle gaming, AI tasks and even multitasking without a sweat, allowing it to do things like this. The S24 Ultra does handle heat well thanks to the larger vapor chamber than the S23 Ultra and also the titanium frame which allows it to dissipate more heat than the aluminium one. But it still does get slightly warm when playing intensive games and while charging. But it's nothing really serious, and if you want more control over the thermals, you can download the Good Guardians app from the Samsung store, and that includes a thermal guardian feature which lets you lower the thermal threshold by up to 2 degrees for a cooler experience, or if you prioritize performance, you can even raise the thermal threshold by 2 degrees which allows for better sustained performance at the cost of a bit more heat. Now in terms of connectivity and durability, the S24 Ultra is fully loaded. It supports 3-band Wi-Fi 7, Bluetooth 5.3, NFC and 5G connectivity for blazing fast speeds. Dual-band GPS also improves location accuracy, making navigation more precise. And for durability, it also has an IP68 water and dust resistance rating, meaning it can handle rain, splashes and even accidental drops in water. Blazing fast connectivity, powerful internals and a stunning display are all great, but they all do come at a cost: battery drain. So how well does S24 Ultra fare in this aspect, and how fast can you top it up? The S24 Ultra has a 5000 mAh battery and 45 watts of fast wired charging. While the 5000 mAh is impressive, especially since they also made space for the S Pen in here, the speed of 45 watts isn't that impressive though. It is still pretty good charging, which gets me from 1 to 50% in about 25 minutes, and it gets me to the 80% mark at around 40 minutes, and it does 0 to 100 in just under an hour and 15 minutes. While this is relatively fast, I still would have preferred even faster charging, like the one offered by its competitors like the OnePlus 13 with 100 watts, which can top it up in just 35 minutes. And as for the battery life itself, I am beyond impressed. I went almost every day with regular usage of social media, YouTube and some games like Clash of Clans and Real Racing 3 with around 20 to even 30% of battery still left. My screen on time with regular usage is around 6 hours, which considering I also play games like Real Racing 3 is nothing short of impressive. Lately I've also been using the battery protection feature which limits the charging at 80%, and even with that I can still comfortably end the day with around 10 to 15% of battery still left. And then charging it for just around 15 minutes brings me back up to around 50%, so I've never really had any battery anxiety with this phone. On top of its solid battery life and fast charging, it also does offer 15 watts wireless charging, which is pretty standard. But the lack of the Qi 2 compatibility is a bit of a letdown since it will open the doors for seamless use of MagSafe accessories. But it isn't a big problem though, since I just picked up a MagSafe case, which allows me to do just that. It also has 5 watts reverse wireless charging, which has already come in useful more times than I can count when I'm outside. Be it my Galaxy Watch 4 or my Galaxy Buds 3 Pro running low on juice, I can just put it on top of the phone for a quick charger. This S24 Ultra features a 200 megapixel main sensor, a 50 megapixel periscope telephoto lens with 5x optical zoom, a 12 megapixel ultra-wide sensor, a 10 megapixel telephoto lens with 3x optical zoom, and a 12 megapixel dual pixel selfie camera on the front. Now, one of the most talked about changes this year was Samsung swapping out the 10x zoom lens from the S23 Ultra to the 5x optical zoom sensor on the S24 Ultra, which at first glance does seem like a downgrade, but it's probably better for 99% of the users. Statistics prove that most users zoom just under 10x, And since S23 Ultra's periscope lens was locked at 10x, anything between 5 to 9.9x was zoomed digitally. But with S24 Ultra, zooming anywhere between 1 to 10x delivers sharper and more detailed shots thanks to a combination of optical zoom, AI processing and improved sensor quality. And not just that, the sensor on the S24 Ultra is also 50 megapixel instead of the 10 megapixel one found on the S23 Ultra. And it also has a wider aperture which allows more light to hit the sensor, meaning it works much better in low light situations. And of course, Samsung's AI-powered 100x page zoom feature is still here. But it's more a fun party trick rather than something I'd use every day, since I find myself rarely zooming above 7 to 8x. That said, it isn't completely useless though. There have been times where I needed to zoom in on a bus number from far away to check if it was the one I was waiting for. I also used it to read billboards or signs from a distance. So while it's not something I rely on every day, it is still a good to have feature to use occasionally. Now of course, great hardware is only half the equation. What really brings everything together is the software. And Samsung has really made a huge commitment this year, promising 7 years of software updates for its all flagship devices, including the S24 series. And this isn't just security updates. Samsung has promised 7 years of both Android OS updates and security patches. And this puts it on par with the Google Pixel lineup and even surpasses Apple, which is once the gold standard, offering anywhere from 5 to 6 years of updates. In the Android world, most brands typically offer around 3 to 4 years of updates, so this is a major win for longevity. But software updates aren't just about longevity, they also bring in new features. And Samsung with the One UI 6.1 has introduced Galaxy AI, bringing in real-time call translation, AI-powered photo editing, and a genuinely useful smart assistant, which even a year later still feels useful and doesn't feel like a gimmick. And now that we have pretty much covered all the hardware, let's dive into the software, because this is where Samsung has really stepped up their game. With One UI 6.1, the experience is smarter, smoother, and deeply integrated with Google Gemini, making everything feel more connected and effortless. And that's the key word here, effortless. One of my favorite AI features is circle to search. Previously, I used Google Lens to mimic what this actually does, but now it's just more seamless and intuitive. Just long press the nav bar and circle anything on your screen and boom, instant search results. Whether it's finding a cool pair of sneakers, landmarks, or even searching up similar images, it's just effortless. And now with the new update, Samsung has also added 2 new icons, a music search and a translate button, both of which are super useful. But I do wish the music search feature also kept a previous history of detected songs, similar to the Pixel's Now Playing, which automatically logs recognized tracks for later reference. And the translate button is also a game changer. If you see a meme or article in another language, just tap it and Gemini will auto-detect and translate to any language you choose. No more copy-pasting it into Google Translate, it's just instant and effortless. And then there's Live Translate, which I haven't used as much, but it's a must-have feature for international calls. If you're speaking with someone who doesn't know your language, Samsung translates everything in real time, both voice and text. You can even choose whether to hear the real voice or just the translation, making it feel more natural. With Google Gemini now deeply integrated, it can now summarize long articles, draft emails, and even help you with coding. While Bixby is still around for Samsung-specific tasks, Gemini enhances everyday productivity with smarter AI-driven features inside Gmail and Messages, which provide smart replies. The AI writing assistant in the Samsung keyboard also helps you rewrite text, adjust tone, and check grammar and spelling all with a single tap. AI also recognizes dates from your messages and automatically adds them to your calendar. This might be super useful in the regions like the US where they text a lot, but here in Europe where WhatsApp and Telegram dominate, it isn't that useful, but it's still a handy feature to have. And then of course, there are the AI photo and video editing tools like Object Eraser, Instant Slow-Mo, Generative Edit, and much more. Generative Edit lets you move, resize, or remove objects seamlessly. Portrait Studio creates AI-generated portrait styles for artistic effects. You can also remaster and enhance old photos by improving details, reducing noise, and sharpening images. In the gallery, you can make an instant slow-mo. While viewing the video, you just have to long press in the viewfinder, and as long as you're holding it, it creates extra frames, making the slow-motion playback feel smooth and natural. You can then save the slow-motion version separately. There's also an AI wallpaper generator, which lets you customize your wallpaper simply by changing keywords, generating unique designs based on your input. While all these features are impressive, I did miss a couple of AI features from the Pixel 8. Best Take for fixing group photos where someone inevitably has their eyes closed or is looking at something else, and Audio Eraser for removing background noise in videos. Good news, Samsung is adding both of those features to the One UI 7 update, which I can't wait to try out. So subscribe and hit the notification bell if you don't want to miss out on that. And behind all the visible AI tools, One UI 6.1 also enhances performance behind the scenes. The battery optimization AI learns your usage patterns and intelligently adjusts power consumption to extend battery life. Meanwhile, the device care AI predicts potential issues and proactively suggests AI-driven solutions even before they become a problem. With the latest update, Samsung has really focused on smooth animations, better RAM management, and faster app loading times to make the UI feel buttery smooth. The combination of long-term software support, AI features, and performance optimization make the S24 Ultra a device that won't just stay relevant, but will also improve over time. So we talked about how AI is making the S24 Ultra smarter, but what about productivity? Because that's where one of Samsung's biggest tools comes into play. The S Pen. For productivity lovers, the S Pen is a game changer, offering precise control, quick note-taking, and seamless integration with Samsung's ecosystem. Whether you are sketching, signing documents, or navigating the UI, the S Pen is undeniably one of the primary reasons you get the Ultra model instead of the Plus or even the regular version. While I do use the S Pen as a stylus quite often, I found myself relying on it even more as a remote to capture photos or videos from a distance, something I previously did with my Galaxy Watch, but this just seems more intuitive and seamless with the S Pen. And here's where things get interesting, because Samsung has removed the Bluetooth functionality on the S Pen of the S25 Ultra. That alone makes the S24 Ultra a better choice for users who rely on these features. But the S Pen is far more than just a stylus, so let's go over some of its key features. The moment you remove the S Pen, an icon appears, triggering the Air Commands menu. From here you can access multiple powerful tools, including Smart Select allows you to capture a specific portion of your screen, be it text, image, or even web content, and interact with them. You can save, share, or even extract text from it. Screen Write instantly takes a screenshot and you can annotate on it with notes or drawings, perfect for a quick markup. Sketch to Image refines your drawing using AI and generates multiple versions, making it easy to enhance your sketches with a single tap. With Air Actions, you can control your phone with gestures even from afar thanks to Bluetooth. You can navigate the UI, use the S Pen as a remote shutter for photos and videos, or even control media playback to pause or skip songs. Air View lets you hover over images, videos, and emails, or even web pages to preview content without opening it. This is great for multitasking. And the handwriting recognition is pretty good on this phone. It converts any handwritten notes into digital text, even in search bars or forms. And it does it with surprisingly good accuracy, no matter how messy your handwriting is. And if that's not enough and you want even more control, you can download Samsung's Good Lock module, Pentastic, which lets you customize everything from the UI and pointer styles to the sound effects while using the S Pen. With so many features packed into this tiny stylus, the S Pen deserves a full deep dive on its own. If that's something you'd be interested in, let me know down in the comments below. I'd love to make a dedicated video on it. Anyways, the S Pen isn't the only tool that makes S24 Ultra a productivity beast. If you really want to take things a step further, we have to talk about Samsung DeX. Samsung DeX is one of those features that you might not use every day, but when you need it, it's an absolute game changer. It essentially transforms your phone into a full desktop experience, making it perfect for working on the go, editing documents, or running multiple apps on a bigger screen. And honestly, once you get used to it, you might not even need a laptop for certain tasks. And setting it up couldn't be easier. Just connect your phone to an external monitor via USB-C or even wirelessly with a supported smart TV. And you instantly get a desktop-like interface with resizable windows and true multitasking that feels smooth and intuitive. And here's something new, it now supports multiple monitors, making it even more versatile. Pair it with a Bluetooth mouse and keyboard, or even a wired setup using the USB-C adapter, and just like that you got a full-on workstation. But of course, not every app is fully optimized for Samsung DeX. Some professional and niche softwares might still run better on a traditional PC. But for vast majority of the people, this is still something really useful to have in the back of your pocket. So, my verdict. Is it still worth it in 2025? The Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra is still one of the best flagship phones in the market. It offers a premium design, a stunning display, cutting-edge AI features, a solid battery life, and an exceptional camera system. And now with price drops, it's an even more attractive option for those who want top-tier smartphone without splurging on minor upgrades from the latest models. If you don't absolutely need the latest hardware and are looking for an AI-powered flagship that will stay relevant for years to come, this S24 Ultra is still an excellent buy. Most of the new AI features from this S25 Ultra will eventually roll out to this S24 Ultra through software updates, making it an even smarter buy for majority of the users. But of course, if you are someone who wants the latest and greatest and needs that next-gen chipset, sure, go for this S25 Ultra. But for most people, this S24 Ultra strikes the perfect balance between performance, features, and value in 2025. So, what's your choice? Does this S24 Ultra seem like the smarter buy, or are you tempted by the new upgrades on the latest S25 Ultra? Let me know down in the comments below, and as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.